I am going to do a partial video on ice cleats and tell you which ones I like and why I like them, the pros and cons of each of them. I'm going to start with the lesser expensive cleats. And yes, I've got my rubber boots out here because I didn't want to haul all my winter boots out here. So first of all, you choose the cleat, the size, based on the winter boot that you were wearing, or if you're going to use them on your shoes, make sure you measure them for what shoe size or boot size you are going to wear them on. So these are some of my rubber boots. So this one over here, I don't know if you can see that because it's a black boot with a black cleat. This one here is the very generic. If you are only going to use them once or twice a winter, you're not going to do a lot of walking. Like if you're going from your house to your car, that type of thing. These are what they call the very basic of the basic. Now they do have studs. They have this plastic blue that kind of holds the studs on. But these studs wear down very fast if you happen to be walking on like pavement that has a lot of ice, but then there's a sunny spot where there's no ice, so you're walking on the pavement. These little metal buttons here, the cleat part, what grips the ice, is going to wear down very, very fast. So these are good if you don't need them for very much walking. I like them because they are really inexpensive. You can have a pair of these in your vehicle. You can have a pair of these beside your door. You can have a pair of these to hand out to somebody else that may need them. So there's 4 cleats on this one, which is the heel, and there's 6 cleats up here where the top of your foot goes. You will notice there is none up here by the toe, and there's none down here at the back of the heel, but still on the bottom of your foot. That's going to come in, be very important here in just a moment. You'll also notice that this has, right here, it's got a hole where your sole of your boot is exposed, and also right here at the end of your heel. Now, these crampons are ones that fit. If I put these on a smaller boot, they would be too loose, and while you're walking, they'll come off on you, okay? So they've got to be stretched on and snug. They've got to be lined up to the center of your foot. If they are too loose, or they're getting worn, or they happen to rip, or one of these grommets pulls out, which is very common with this type of cleat, or if you walk on the side of your feet, this whole cleat here will tend to go off to the side, one side of the boot or the other, so you're not walking with that in the center. And trust me, that is very uncomfortable. So the next one, these are, what are these? These are ice tracks. These are a better quality. They're made with better rubber. They stretch on good. Again, this one here, I'm putting them on my rubber boots. They should be tighter. They should be tighter on the boot than this. You can see that's pretty loose. But if for a proper fit, they should be tighter than that, so they will stay on. These have the same type of plastic, only on this one it's yellow. But the cleats themselves aren't as big around as the ones on the blue. They're more spiky with a blunt point, and they're a little bit longer. These, what did I say they were? These ice tracks are the next step up from those. Again, a little bit better quality. And the same thing, you got to make sure they are centered on the bottom of your boot so they don't slide. And if they're too big, these will slide one side or the other, make it very, very uncomfortable. So, but as you notice, these cleats come closer to the heel, but they're not very close to the tip of your boot. So they're kind of in the center of your heel and in the center of the ball of your, is it the ball? The front ball? The center of closer to the middle of your boot. And again, I'm going to point this out. This is a gap. This rubber here is not right here. There's a gap. And again, and there's another gap right there in the heel. I'll go over that in a moment, why that's important. These here are called stabilizers. These are probably close to 15 years old. I've had these for a very long time. These here tend to stay on your feet or your boot a whole lot better because it's Velcro, so it's easily to adjust. The thing is, the Velcro is so, see, I need two hands to lift that Velcro up. It is so sticky, folks, that I need two hands to lift that Velcro up. So it comes up, and it comes up to the front of the toe of your boot. On the back, it has those straps that come around the ankle and Velcro to the front of your boot, ankle high, to keep them in place. So these are really nice. They're very well worth the money. On the bottom, you will see these get used a lot, folks. Let me do this. As you can see, the bottom of the cleat sole is a whole lot different. It's solid. There's no gaps. There are no gaps. It's a solid piece of sole. It's got a rugged tread. But these here are like studs. They actually screw in with a screwdriver or a small wrench or a small socket. So these are changeable. Now, when I bought these, I bought an extra pair of those cleats so I can replace them, but I've never ever needed to replace these. These are carbide cleats, so they're really, really rugged. So these here, the stabilizers, are definitely worth the money. They're a little bit heavier. They're a little bit heavier to walk with. So my latest, I've got all kinds of cleats, folks. My latest pair of ice cleats are these here. And these are, I brought the packaging right out with me. I'll show you. These are ice cleats, Crampon, super grip and stability, multi-directional steel cleats. So that is good. But what I want to point out, do you see that man taking a step? I'm assuming it's a man. I don't know. This person wearing these crampons, do you see how he's taking a step right there? His heel is up here by my thumb, and his toe is right here. He's taking a full step. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you where that picture is not accurate. It's kind of false advertising. Because this is really stiff rubber. Looks to be like they're pretty well made, but they've got this gap in the sole. Okay? They've got nice, long, multi-directional, as the label says, which is good for grip. But look where the toe is. The toe is up here, toe of the boot, and the crampons, the studs, the cleats themselves start way back here, okay? And then back here, they're centered in the center of the heel, But look over here. There's no cleats over here. So when you do take a step, let me show you. So you're walking on ice, right? If you're walking kind of flat-footed, you're going to be golden. But if you're going to take a stride, your heel comes down where there's no cleats on that end of the crampon. You're taking a step, and if you take a full step, see that? You're stepping off the end of your toes where there are no cleats. So most people that I know walk flat-footed. I feel like I'm on Sesame Street demonstrating, but you get the point. Most people walk flat-footed, which is good, which you're supposed to walk slow even though you've got cleats on your feet, right? So why is that gap concerning to me? There's a gap in this kind. There's a gap in that one. There's gaps in that one. There's no gaps on the real expensive, good quality ones. Why is that important? If you've ever walked in snow, if it's been salted, or if you walk and there's ice underneath the snow, and then you come to a sunny spot, and in that sunny spot where the snow is, it'll become sticky. And what's going to happen? The snow is going to start building up right in these holes of the crampon. Okay, these ice cleats are going to start building up, and it's going to form ice. The next thing you know, you've got a ball of ice. You've got a ball of ice that's protruding underneath your foot because it's building up and building up. You've got one in the center of your foot that is building up, and you've got a small one there. If you continue walking without cleaning those out, you're going to have a ball of ice right in the center of your boot. And trust me that if the ice ball builds up, these cleats, these pins here, no longer have anything to grip. Not only is it uncomfortable, for those of you who cross-country ski, you've probably had this issue where the snow builds up between the top of the ski and the bottom of your boot. And the same with snowshoeing. It's aggravating, it's uncomfortable, and that's just the way it is. So I'm not a big fan of any cleat or crampon that has the hole. I am a big fan of the solid crampon sole. Now, could these more expensive ones, the ice stabilizers, could snow get in there between the bottom of the boot, the heel, and the top of the crampons? It could, but I've never had that happen, folks. So again, it comes down to quality. It comes down to really some experience on what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Now look at this one here. Look at the side of that one. There's a great big gap, and these are the brand new ones. See, the crampon ends right by the heel of your boot. It goes in there a good half inch, and then it comes out. There's a lot of snow. A lot of snow can build up right there. And then if you're walking in different snow where it goes fluffy to sticky, when you're taking a step and there's ice underneath and snow on top, the snow is going to come down through here, and it's going to go right in that cleat hole. And again, the same way with this one here. Right? Same thing. Same thing is going to happen, and it has happened, folks. So it all comes down to experience, trial and error. I hope this might save you some money. And again, you see that jiggling? I didn't buy these to fit these rubber boots. I'm just doing this for demonstration. They should not be that loose, okay? They should be snug and kind of hard to put on. So, in my opinion, these right here, and I'm not affiliated whatsoever, folks, but if you're going to spend a lot of time outside when it's icy, you might as well get some really good cleats that work for you, that fit snug to your boot and are going to last you a long time. I have not, these are brand new. I have not tried them out yet. Just haven't yet. But again, they don't go all the way to the top. These little spiky things don't go all the way to the toe. They do not go all the way to the heel, so that automatically forces me to walk flat-footed for safety. It's got this hole in the sole that ice can build up on, snow can build up on, and it's got this nice gap right here to help it build an ice ball right underneath the center of your boot. So I hope this helps. I'll do a demonstration on how I do walk in these cleats, but the ice has got to be safe before I can do that.